everyone, and welcome to the shit show that is the Below Deck Med. Oh, my goodness gracious. I don't even know where to begin with this episode. Oh man, we kind of leave off with the fight heard around the world between Natalia and Kyle, and basically like kind of ending that off. It's just they go their separate rooms away from each other, and maybe we can reconvene in the morning. Not. So everyone kind of goes off to do what they're going to be doing for the day. And Natalia kind of hangs back for a bit, her and Max. Max also decides that he doesn't want to deal with any of these fucking people. So, he also stays back, but both of them go together. And it's like everyone just ignores Natalia and doesn't really say anything to her. There's at one point she kind of inserts herself to a conversation. I can't remember what that conversation was, but she definitely inserted herself, and I don't think it was, oh yes, I remember. Jessica. She basically talked about how she's all about positive energies and all of this, and Natalia just comes over to her, and kind of Luca at the same time, and says, "You're all about good energy, but not once did you think about coming in, like checking on me after what like Kyle did and all of this and blah, blah, blah." And Jessica's like, "You're right. You're absolutely right." Because she doesn't give a shit. So here's what I'll say about that. First of all, see yourself out of this conversation that did not include you in the first place. Number two, I think Natalia is a little delusional because she's not talking to you on purpose. She is upset about her involvement in the argument between her and Kyle, Jessica, and it's just like Jessica's making the decision to not be fake. So why would she come talk to you? Now Luca, on the other hand, and we'll get to him in a minute, well, him and Jessica in a minute, he's choosing to distance himself because you are drama, ma'am. And the thing is, like, you know you're drama because you literally say that you are going to cool it with Luca. You tell this to your boyfriend, and then you're upset because he's showing another woman affection and attention. Make up your fucking mind, because I am confused. Which is probably why, in the end of the day, Luca decided, I'm out. I'm not going to get involved in any of this. This is too much. So yeah. I mean, too much. But anyways, Natalia basically decides that she's going to leave. She doesn't want to be there. And she leaves. She dips. And we're kind of just finish up with this little section of her. She says basically that she thinks she's going to leave. And we kind of see her go and getting her suitcase, and she is potentially going to pack up and leave. We see her asking Laura if she could ask Luca to help her with her bags the next day so she can leave. And I thought in this moment, I'm thinking, you don't have Luca's number. You can't text him yourself and tell him. You have to ask Laura to tell him. Weird. But anyways, she doesn't go to dinner with them. She doesn't go out with them. So we're not going to really see her again. So Laura does tell Luca. And Luca's like, wait, what? And everyone's like, well, she's leaving. Natalia's leaving. Every single person is either happy or okay with her leaving, except for Sheffy, who they might now realize is Jack. But I think I'll stick to Sheffy at this point. And Max is kind of neutral-ish. I think he's kind of like, we'll get to him in a minute too. But I'm just like, you're all so happy and that's fun. Because honestly, I think it's time for her to leave. I've been saying that. But it's amazing how quickly people turn on you. You know what I mean? But, like, I'm thinking, like, you're all real happy that she's leaving. And she's not happy. And that kind of bugs me a little bit. But at the same time, I do think that Natalia is completely unaware of her role in certain things. And wants to take this victim mentality, and it's just like, you're not a victim. I'm not saying you're a perpetrator, but you're not a victim. So, anyway, they party, blah, blah, blah. It's great. Now back to the boat. Toomey goes and talks to Natalia and just to see how she's doing. And she kind of tells everybody that she's not going to force her to stay. It's not really her choice anyways. And I think honestly, she votes for Natalia getting off the boat. Again, Sheffy is just real pissed. He's the one that's pissed the most about her potentially leaving. And everyone being so happy about her potentially leaving. So yeah, we'll come back to him in a minute as well for those who didn't watch the episode. But yeah, so Toomey kind of says like, well, I guess she's leaving. And Kyle all of a sudden is like, should I go talk to her? Wait 1 fucking minute. Sir, you literally are talking about how you don't give a shit. You don't want to be friends with her anymore. You're perfectly happy about her leaving. You're literally in your room a second ago saying freedom. He literally, actually, let me rephrase. You're literally in your room about to start singing Freedom 93 by George Michael because you're so fucking happy that she's leaving. You're literally in there being like, freedom, freedom. You know what I mean? It's just, which I didn't realize is not Freedom 93, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. Or the first, yeah. So I'm just like, so why are you gonna go there and talk to her? But he does, he goes in there and he talks to her, and it's just this ramble about, it's so sad how quickly things change. And, when you're friends with somebody, this is so much more than just a regular old Nat and Kyle tiff. This is, we're not on Instagram anymore. And like, oh, fuck's sakes. And, this is just different. And he's kind of just rambling. And he does like kind of apologize, I think. And Natalia says like, thanks a lot and everything about you coming in here, but she doesn't believe that his apology is genuine. And I don't blame her in thinking that by any means, because listen, I don't think, like I just said a few minutes ago, Natalia is not a victim. She is very much involved in some of the things that have happened among the interior especially, and she is messy when it comes to her relationship. But I don't disagree with her that Kyle is being fake in this moment, and I feel is just saying sorry to say sorry. I don't know though, but I kind of see where she's kind of getting that. But then that's kind of it. Kyle leaves and he says, well, I guess I did my part and whatever. So it's kind of that. I don't think there's anything else that really happened that night. Oh, actually, no. Let's go back a minute. Luca and Jessica, did they or didn't they have sex? I'm so confused. I mean, they have the comforter blocking them, but I think it's definitely for the best because, again, for those who watched, it was Sailing Yacht, right? With, Joao and Joao and, what's her face? Serena. My God, that sex scene is actually kind of hot, mind you. But my Lord, shit, that was something. I mean, we just hear all kinds of shit in that scene. So, I mean, Luca and Jessica definitely took the route of, there are cameras in here, so maybe we should get like some sort of barrier so no one can see anything. I mean, I don't know if they did. I don't know. I'm gonna vote for they probably did, but who knows? They don't. Anyway, so that's kind of that. And the next day, we kind of see that Natalia is kind of the first one up, and she asks to see Sandy in the bridge, and she goes up there and she says, I think I need to leave, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to it though, because Sandy's kind of like, wait, what? And she starts explaining everything that happened from the previous night. The argument between Kyle and Max, all of a sudden just argument that came out of left field between him and Natalia, and she's just putting it all out there. And she also brought up the fact that Kyle got in Jessica's face as well, even though they have definitely squashed that. I don't know what Natalia knows or doesn't know, but they've dealt with that. But she just puts it all out there. And I'm like, ooh, oh, you really went in. You went for the jugular. Okay. So Sandy's like, that's not okay. I will talk to Kyle. And she says that, it would be really sad to see you go. But she said at the same time, in the moment, that as much as she maybe wants Natalia to stay, she can't make her. She says that the interior is going to suffer with Natalia not being there. But she signs off on her paperwork and she's out. She says goodbye to those people she wants to say goodbye to. She says goodbye to Sheffy. She says bye to Haley. Yeah, that's her name, right? Haley? Haley and Laura, Luca. I don't know if she said bye to Toomey. I don't know if she said bye to anybody in her department. Come to think of it. But then she is off the boat, and that's it. Natalia has left. Now, I felt in my bones that Natalia was going to probably leave, but I didn't think this would have been the reason why she left. I was thinking she would leave because of her boyfriend, but hell do I know. So, yeah, that's kind of that. But now Sandy's like, I am pissed about everything that's happening. And we kind of see her starting to kind of build some sort of case. First, she talks to Sheffy about what happened, and he says, I'm pissed about the whole thing. Everyone's acting like it's okay and all fine and dandy and happy that she's leaving. He's like, well, I'm pissed off about it. And yeah, so that's kind of the conversation she had with him. She then talks to Toomey about what happened. And Toomey does say, like, honestly, I don't even know what happened. To this moment, I still don't understand what happened. But she does say, you know, how Kyle conducted himself was not okay. So they're in that agreement. And then we see her, well, she does ask Toomey, like, can you ask him to come up? And he does. And he starts off being like, good morning. And she's like, it's not a good morning for me. And she says, you know, listen, of all those arguments that I'm hearing about, guess who the common denominator is? You. You're the one that's in the middle of all of these fights. I don't know why. Blah, blah, blah. She's going off, you know, in a professional way. And she's like, listen, you talk about how you want to be Chief Stew. I would never hire you as Chief Stew because you can't even get your emotions in check. Oh, god damn. Wow. I feel like I've never heard a captain. Again, I still have previous episodes to run through, but I feel like from what I've seen, and this is my third season with Sandy, I feel like I've never heard her say, I would never hire you as my Chief Stew. Ever. That's a hit. And she also says to him, I don't even want someone who's, you know, acting the way you are, basically, on my boat, much less. And that's basically where it ends off. I don't know what's gonna happen. I feel in my gut she's probably gonna fire him, honestly. But I also think, like, from this perspective, I think, yeah, you know, could definitely get fired. But I could also see from the other perspective of he might get out of this and he could use it as a learning experience, but we'll see, I guess. But that is basically it. For Below Deck Med. Yeah. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to Facebook at Reality Tea Times 2. You can go to Instagram and Threads at Reality Tea Times 2 podcast. You can go to X as well as Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 pod. You can email us at solo.to/Reality Tea Times 2. And I think that's it. I think I got it all. I think. I never know anymore. But anyways, that is it for Below Deck Med for this week. So, thanks guys. Bye.